So hello and welcome to today's video. It's Sunday again. Welcome. I'm back. I'm still here in Bali and I am Shell. This is my channel AkashaLove, where we talk about love for self, inner connection, self-love, self-care, self-honor, self-respect, and overflowing from a place of inner well-being, inner harmony, into the world and into our relationships with others. So I got a question from a friend of mine who watched the last video, which I will link up here or here, which was about being authentic in relationships. And in that video, I talked about a relationship as being a third space. So you have two people, person A, person B, and the relationship is literally the space that grows between them. You can imagine that as literally an energetic being, a virtual being that grows between these two people. And so I was talking about in the previous video the three foundational ingredients of any healthy relationship, which was thanks to the beautiful Dr. Roberta Shaler. So those three foundational principles or ingredients of a healthy third space relationship are equality, mutuality, and reciprocity. So I spoke about this third space as, imagine it's the circle between the two people, and imagine both people are putting a color into that space. So if it's a healthy relationship between those two people, you have person A putting in a color, a red color, for example. You have person B putting in the color yellow into this space. So that's the energy of person B is yellow. They fill up that space with yellow. The energy of person A is red. They fill up the space with red. So that relationship, that space between the two, is a beautiful orange space, the mix of the energy of those two people. And then both these people can literally be nourished and fed from that beautiful relationship that is created between them. So that's a healthy relationship. If it's an unhealthy relationship, you might have either person A or person B. Let's take person B filling up that space with yellow, person A taking that yellow, putting that into themselves, filling themselves up with yellow, but not putting their own color into that relational space. So person B has to then self-resource, find their own energy and resources from themselves, because that relational space is not being filled with any color from person A. So that's the unhealthy version of this relationship. So the question from my friend was, how do we find a person, the right person that we can build this healthy relationship with? And if we are in an unhealthy relationship where we're the one filling up that space with our color and the other person is not putting in very much of their own energy into the relationship, what can we do about that? I would say basically that it's relatively simple. We need to have maybe a difficult conversation with our relationship partner and bring this issue to light, let them know how we feel, let them know that we're not feeling nourished from this third space because we're not feeling that they're really putting very much in there of their own love and their own emotional energy. And we give them the opportunity to respond. What are they going to do about that? What are they going to say to that? Do they even recognize that? If they don't recognize it and they just want to argue with you about it, that's probably a sign that this relationship maybe doesn't have very much of a future. If they do recognize that they're not really putting in much of their own energy, then they might admit to that and they might tell you what's going on for them. And they need to, of course, tell you what's going on for them if they want to remain in this relationship with you, because otherwise you're left in the dark, and this relationship, this space, third space, has no future. So if they want to tell you what's going on with you, with them, then there's an open dynamic, open space for a healthy conversation. And if this, let's say person A, who's not putting in any of their own energy, is a healthy person, and they're open to a discussion about this, they're willing to be vulnerable, they're willing to own what's going on for them, they're willing to share that with person B, and they're willing to change that dynamic, then there's a possibility for that relationship moving forward. If this person A, who's not putting in the energy into that third space, is not able or not willing to actually share what's going on with them, to actually tell person B whatever is going on their inner energy system, whatever is going on inside, whatever's going on in their minds, in their life, in their other relationships, in their work perhaps. If they're really not willing or able to share that with person B, then person B really needs to check in with themselves and ask if they think that this relationship is viable and has a future. So if we're then looking at new relationships, so if you're in the process of dating or even looking for new friendships, how do you identify if somebody is open and willing and interested in creating this shared third space with you, whether that's a friend, whether it's a possible date, a possible love or romantic relationship? How do you identify this? I guess the most important thing is to be upfront with that person in the initial stages of that friendship or relationship, and share with them what you are looking for in this dynamic, in this relationship, in this connection. What are you looking for? What are you interested in receiving from this connection from them? What are you prepared to put into it? And also, of course, when we look back at those three principles which create a healthy relationship, equality, mutuality, and reciprocity, you can also ask your potential relationship partner, your potential date, your potential friend, if they would share their values with you. What are their values in life? What do they value in a friendship? How much time do they have or are prepared to put into this? Because if that friend or that possible romantic partner is very busy and only can maybe see you or speak to you once a week or once every 2 weeks, that might not be enough for you. So just having that conversation with them up front in the beginning, you can easily then just be very clear with each other and say, okay, that's not going to work with me because I'm really seeking for a romantic partner, for example, who has more availability than that and who is really looking for a deeper connection, who's looking for a real intimate connection where they really start to get to know me. So I think I need to be with someone who has more time available. And then, of course, you can ask the potential partner also what are their values in life. And this is something that I haven't really done very much before, but going forward, I think I will be doing this a lot more. And I think it's, really reasonable and relevant and necessary question to ask somebody, particularly, of course, if it's a dating situation, if it's a potential partner. Ask them, what are their values? Do you value truth? Do you value transparency? What is important to you in life? Is having a purpose in life important to you? Is giving back to the world important to you? Is having reciprocal relationships important to you? Ask them, what are their values? What really is important to them in life? What do they really want? And if they don't have values which match yours, so if they are more like, okay, out of life, I am looking to get my needs met, I'm looking to get as much money as I can, I'm looking to be as comfortable as I possibly can, I'm looking to not have to go out of my way very much, I'm looking for ease, then maybe it's not a match. Yeah. So it's a really fairly direct way of working out if that person is a match and is going to be on a vibe with you. Just asking them about their values. And some people haven't even thought about their values. Some people don't even know what their values are. And if your potential relationship partner is a person like that, and you're a person who has very strong and very clear values, for example, truth, transparency, directness, clear communication, conflict resolution, not shoving things under the carpet, standing up for yourself, expecting your relationship partner to also stand up for themselves, saying what you want, asking for what you want, asking your relationship partner what they want, what they need, whether their needs are feeling met or not. So if this is you and your potential person is the opposite, so they're not really so direct, they're not working on having really clear communication, they don't really know what their values are, they're not quite sure maybe what they're here for in life, where they're going, again, maybe it's not a match. So that is basically a very clear and direct way of working out whether somebody is going to be on a vibe and is going to be a possible match for you. And of course, we have also chemistry. We have a feeling for somebody, especially if it's a romantic connection or possible romantic connection, there's going to be chemistry there. But that chemistry and that feeling is absolutely not all that is necessary in order to build a healthy relationship. You need a lot more than chemistry. Particularly after the age of 20s, 20-something, to actually build something real and strong and healthy. Chemistry, okay, you need that, but you need a hell of a lot more than that to create a healthy and functional relationship between you two. So, the other thing that I think it's really important to mention is, of course, checking in with yourself. What kind of place and what kind of space are you in? If you're coming from a needy space and a needy place in yourself when you're seeking out relationship or friendship, if you're desperate to be in a relationship with someone, if you really, really want to have a partner, then that space is not really a strong space from which to find a good partner, because that desperation energy is going to mean that you're much more likely to compromise on your values and on what you're seeking in a partner, because your want is so strong that you'll just kind of accept whoever is there, because what you want is a person. So if you can get that clear within yourself, okay, I'm not desperate, I'm not needy, I'm actually prepared to be alone with myself, prepared to stand strong in myself until the right person comes along for this possible relationship, because I recognize that if I compromise what I need, what I want, because I'm just really desperate to create that connection and to not be alone, that's when I will most likely be falling into old patterns and accepting a lot less from somebody than, for example, that I'm giving. And that will create that unequal, imbalanced relationship dynamic. So check in with yourself, make sure you are good in yourself, and, maybe even stay single for as long as it takes for you to create that really strong, or recreate that really strong foundation within yourself. And for you to know that you're not coming from a place of neediness or desperation, you're not grabbing, let's say, you're not grabbing out into the world looking for somebody to make you feel okay, looking for validation, looking for security, looking for even that, so that you don't have to be out alone in the restaurants or in the street or whatever, just wanting someone to be there. So if you're coming from that place, that's a dangerous place to come from if you're seeking to build healthy relationship. So I would, if you are newly single and really doing some deep work, looking into your relating patterns, taking the time out from relationships to look at why previous relationships maybe have not worked out, I would really work on this, really check in on where you are with yourself, really check in, am I trying to source my safety in the world? Am I trying to source validation, so somebody to love me? Am I trying to source security, knowing I'm going to feel okay from an external source, being, for example, another person? And if you recognize that you are seeking to source security, safety, validation from a third party, that's not a good place from which to seek a relationship. So the first and the best thing that you can do if you find yourself in that space is to come back to you and to work on sourcing that self-validation, safety and security within yourself, and do whatever it is that you need to do to source that and to feel safe and secure in yourself. There's so many different techniques for doing this: affirmations, hypnotherapy, EFT. I did another video on EFT, which maybe I will put here somewhere. Emotional freedom technique is a really great way to start to tap into resourcing all of your needs for safety, security, and love from yourself. And that, of course, doesn't mean that we need to stay alone together. We are relational beings. It is normal for us to want to be in healthy friendships and relationships. It just means that we will hopefully be coming from a resourced place the next time that we actually reach out to people that we're actually looking to create a healthy relationship. And if we are coming from this resourced place, so if we know that we love ourselves, if we're validating ourselves, if we're respecting ourselves, if we're honoring ourselves, and if we're secure in ourselves and safe in ourselves, and even, of course, if we're looking after ourselves financially, also really important, then we're not going to basically sell ourselves short. So basically give ourselves away, compromise on what we really need in another person and in a relationship. We're not going to put ourselves on sale, put a big 50% off discount price on our worth and on what we are offering in relationship with another person. We're going to be really careful with our extending out our energy, extending out our love, giving all of our beautiful gifts to somebody before we've seen what they have to offer and whether they're ready and willing to meet us in the middle. So when we're self-resourced, when we're looking after ourselves, we're not going to overextend and start this grabbing and this basically desperate grabbing energy. We're going to wait and slowly meet in the middle. Because we're not desperate, we come slowly and we reveal ourselves slowly and carefully to our right potential relating partners. And we invite them to reveal themselves, to show who they are slowly and carefully. And then both of us have the chance to see if we can meet in the middle, if we are a good fit, if we are a good match. And the only way to do that is to come from a healthy sense of being self-resourced. So I think that is all for today. I just wanted to address that question of how to work out if you can heal an imbalanced relationship where one person is giving all the color into that space and the other person is not, what you can do about that. And then if you are newly single and you are taking time out to self-reflect and look at yourself and work out how do I create a healthy relationship, then those are the steps. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you're interested in learning more about these topics of being your true self, loving yourself, creating healthy and authentic relationships. And you subscribing really helps me to spread this channel out, to spread the word out, so that's also a reciprocal relationship between us both. And also remember to like, and I would love to also hear your comments. I answer pretty much all of my comments at the moment. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, and I will talk to you next time.